Good morning, Dana Coleman here, Director of Operations with PMA Web Services. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to our weekly installment of PMA Facebook Live. If you missed us last week, no need to worry. You can always catch our video in our video section on our Facebook page. Now, this month, we have been doing a theme of Facebook. And after talking to clients this week, a couple client conversations, we decided to take a break from that and focus on why social media is so important overall to your business, why it's such an integral part to your business. So to start things off, I'd like to go over some predictions of what's going to be prominent this year, the remaining part of this year, and even into next year. But before I do so, I know predictions, sometimes people tend to tune out predictions. Why? Because our society is full of predictions. Whether it's, about the market, gas prices. Now I live in South Florida where we deal with hurricanes, and every year they predict, the National Hurricane Center predicts what kind of year we're looking at for hurricane activity. And I've been here a little over 10 years, I think 11 years at this point, and they say it's going to be the most active year. We're going to see 20 named storms and, something like that, and it ends up being a really quiet year, or vice versa. They say it's going to be a quiet year, and we end up getting tons of named storms and maybe a storm that even hits. So, but I want to emphasize that since I have been reading and observing predictions with social media, they tend to be pretty accurate. So it's really important if you're going to be utilizing social media in your business that you pay attention to these. They're great, great predictions, and I promise every prediction I have heard with social media, for the most part, has been spot on. So you don't want to miss out on these. Now, to start things out on the list, number one, ephemeral content is very prominent this year. Ephemeral content, think Snapchat. It's content that is short-lived. It's only there for a certain period of time, and you can watch it. Maybe it's set for a certain number of seconds. Like on Snapchat, you can choose how many seconds you'd like the audience to be able to view the image or the words. And you can even have it set where it replays one time, but that's it. Now you may be asking, how is this good for my business? Or what is this going to do for my business? Well, it leverages the fear of missing out. Or you may hear the acronym is pretty popular these days, FOMO, fear of missing out. Number two, content that engages on a personal level. Now, there was a study and it found that 84% of millennials don't trust traditional advertising. It's for two reasons they don't trust it: because it lacks personality and relevancy, or they don't feel it's relevant to them. So content that engages on a personal level is going to be liked more, get more views this year. Now next, it may sound contradictory, but chatbots for customer service specifically are huge and are going to be huge this year. Believe it or not, 30% of our one-on-one conversations in the customer service realm in business are going to be with a chatbot or a machine, believe it or not. And like I said, they're one-on-one conversations, and this is within the customer service realm. Now, we are always trying to help our clients automate their businesses and find places where they can automate their business areas. And customer service is a great area where you can automate things. However, you want to be careful and just use your judgment that there's a time and a place for a chatbot. And there's a time and a place for human interaction, and when human interaction is needed. Now, there's a commercial that is currently playing on big network TV. It's been on for, I don't know, I want to say it's been airing for maybe 6 months at this point, a few months now at least. And I just want to give this example to emphasize that there is a time and a place for chatbots. So the commercial's for a home security system, a company that provides home security services. And the setting is a house, and there, as the camera pans, through the house slowly, you see that there are drawers pulled out, drawers overturned, clothes strewn about, and you hear hold music in the background, really loud, chipper hold music. And it just right off the bat feels inappropriate before it goes any further. But as the camera pans, you see a woman who is on the phone, and she's being very patient, and she's clearly trying to get a hold of someone because her home has been broken into. So a chipper voice comes on the line and says something about, how can I help you? And the woman says, we've had a break-in. And I think before she can get any further, and this isn't verbatim, I'm just trying to give a synopsis of this commercial. The woman says, we've had a break-in, and you hear this really chipper voice say, I'm sorry, you have the wrong department. And it just feels horrible. When you watch it, you feel for this woman in this situation, and it just emphasizes when a chatbot is not appropriate. And so that's why I wanted to mention that. Use your judgment. They're great. They're courteous. They're consistent. You don't have to worry about anything like that when using chatbots. They use predictive text. And that's how they're able to recognize, the certain keywords that your clients are going to be using. However, there's a time and a place for them, so make sure how you utilize them, that you're not using them when you could be using a human being or when human interaction is needed. So, number 4, live streaming. Live streaming is the big trend right now, and it's going to become even bigger and more prominent. And it's appropriate because I am delivering this content to you while I'm live streaming on Facebook Live. Facebook Live is a great platform for live streaming videos. However, there are others, but Facebook is a good one, and a big one, and is a big reach. So if you haven't done a live stream video yet, I would recommend that you dip your foot in. I mean, they say if you're going to get your feet wet, you should just dive in. You might as well dive in. So if you are concerned about just going live and not being able to stop the video if you make a mistake, and do another shot and kind of have, make sure it's perfect. If you have a fear of that, you just try and let go and do like a short video, even just saying hi to your clients and prospect clients. It's just a good way to get a little bit of practice at being in front of a camera and knowing that, hey, it's going to be live and it's just going to go, and whatever happens, happens. And that'll bolster your confidence, and you'll be able to do them. They'll be much easier after that. So I would recommend starting with something small and just kind of going from there. Now, the great thing with live stream videos and why they're so effective it kind of goes back to content engaging on a personal level. It's more conversational, it's more personal, it's real. Your clients are seeing the real you, or your prospect clients, whoever your audience is. And there's just so much more personality that shines through on these videos, rather than when you've planned the content to the point that it's memorized and you do 8 takes, and then the video is in traditional videos, and the video is edited and has music and sounds added and things removed, and there's lighting set up, and I just think they have a feeling of almost being overproduced, and when that happens, it almost filters out part of your personality, and you want your personality to shine through. And I just see such a high energy, so much more energy. It's high energy when I watch any live stream videos. So they just have a great feel. If you're gonna start doing them, I recommend, if you haven't started, I recommend you start doing them. And if you're worried, just do a small one, like I mentioned. Maybe plan a little bit about what you're going to say, but just get on and say hello and just kind of go with it for a short period of time and see how it feels. Most likely you're going to have some newfound confidence and feel better about doing them in the future. And I highly recommend that they're part of your social media plan, because they're very effective and they're fun. They're fun for your clients. You really can't go wrong with them, believe it or not. So the last thing on the list of predictions for this year and the year ahead is visual content. It is still the lead. And I will never forget when the prediction, I believe it was 2013 or late 2013, I was reading a blog, a very credible blog, and it had predictions of the year ahead. And this was before we were seeing a lot of images on social media. And it was more word-based posts. And I'll never forget when they said that it will be the year of the image. And I'm thinking, really? Well, yes, really, it has been the year of the image. Every year we've seen images being prominent. So just to emphasize how prominent photos still are on social media platforms, there are around approximately 3.2 billion photos shared every single day across various social media platforms like, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. 3.2 billion pictures every single day. So don't forget the old trusty image just because there's all this other great content. Images are still prominent. Just that number, that figure just kind of blew my mind when I read it. It was like 3.2 billion daily across the world. So you might ask, after hearing all of this, how do I create content that feels personal? Well, that comes down to understanding your clients on a personal level, which can be difficult when you're running a business. But here at PMA, we use a questionnaire, and it helps clients refine who their target market is. So if you'd like to receive a copy of this questionnaire so you can utilize it, drop us a line at pm@pmawebservices.com. That's pm@pmawebservices.com. That's our main inbox. And in the subject line of the email, help me understand my client. That's all you have to put. And we'll not only send you the worksheet, but we will provide a consult call on how to use this newfound information to your advantage. So I'd like to thank you for tuning in today for our weekly installment of PMA Facebook Live. Now, this was part one of why social media marketing is so important to your business, so you don't want to miss out on part 2 next week. If you have any questions, feedback, anything, any predictions that you have, we'd love to hear from you. So drop us a line in the comment section. If you have any stories about the first time you live streamed, we'd love to hear about that. Again, questions, drop us a line. And if you haven't already liked our Facebook page, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button so you don't miss out on anything. And we will see you next week. Thank you for tuning in.